the Bible and archaeology didn't always go together. In the past, biblical archaeology used archaeological findings to show that the events described in the Bible were factual. Many European biblical scholars saw archaeology as a separate, unimportant field. However, the first archaeologists in Palestine were often Christian scholars who used the Bible as a guide while working with shovels in hand. 150 years ago, a missionary named Frederick Klein found an important artifact called the Mesha stele. The discovery caused a lot of excitement but also sparked conflict between archaeology and biblical studies. The stele supported the Bible because it mentioned the kings of Israel and Moab and their gods, which are also mentioned in the Bible. However, there were differences between the information on the stele and what is written in the Book of Kings about the war between Israel and Moab. Also, the Mesha stele shows evidence of a place of worship for Yahweh in Nebo, which isn't found in the Bible. It's important to mention that back then, archaeologists studying the Bible weren't interested in figuring out the chronological order of events. Instead, they focused on exploring impressive structures, artifacts, or valuable objects. For a long time, people studying the archaeology of the Holy Land had two conflicting goals. Some wanted to use discoveries to prove that the events described in the Bible were true. Others found evidence that went against these beliefs. In the 1950s, an archaeologist named Kathleen Kenyon found that there were no signs of a Great Wall being destroyed at the end of the second millennium when people believed the conquest of Jericho took place. This means that the biblical account of Jericho being destroyed wasn't historically accurate, but rather a legend. Afterward, many scholars in both biblical studies and archaeology began to separate their fields of study. Some Jewish and Christian archaeologists had a simplistic understanding of the Bible and tried to directly connect archaeological discoveries with what was written in the Bible. For instance, archaeologists believed that the palace they found in Meggido was King Solomon's stable because the Bible describes him as a mighty king with a vast empire that had many cities with chariots and horses. The Bible doesn't mention Meggido specifically as one of the cities belonging to King Solomon's empire. Also, it's uncertain whether the verse mentioning Meggido refers to the time of Solomon or a later period that is idealized in the text. Additionally, archaeologists found two stone monuments at the Arad sanctuary that were believed to confirm the story of King Josiah ordering the destruction of the sanctuary. However, after studying the layers of soil at the site, this claim couldn't be supported. Meanwhile, European biblical scholars started distancing themselves from archaeology. They would date biblical texts quite recently, placing them in the Persian era without considering archaeological evidence. However, scholars question whether there was intensive writing and record-keeping in Jerusalem during the Persian period when the population of Judah province was quite low. Additionally, they wonder how it would have been possible to create stories about destroyed or abandoned places like Shiloh or Bethel when they had disappeared long before the Persian period. It's important for modern archaeologists and biblical scholars to start a conversation again. Biblical scholars should no longer see archaeology as unimportant, and archaeologists should stop believing that their field has the final say on issues that religious scholars debate.